Welcome to Orlando Attractions Magazine, the show.
This week we're taking you on a Florida amusement industry tour.
And Ridley Pearson, author of the Kingdom Keepers series, talks with us about his new book.
As always, we've got theme park news, travel tips, a new giveaway, and more coming at you.
It's the latest news, the greatest experiences, and the best attractions all in one show. And it's happening right now.
This week's show is brought to you by Theme Park Connection, where you can buy, sell, and trade Disney items. Visit their warehouse here in Winter Garden or online at themeparkconnection.com.
The show is also brought to you by Mousefan Travel, specializing in vacation planning by land and sea. Whether you're headed to theme parks, a luxurious cruise, or an exotic destination, let the experts handle it at no extra cost. For a free quote with no obligation, visit mousefantravel.com.
Undercover Tourist is our recommended supplier of online discount tickets to Disney World, Universal, and other Orlando area attractions. For the past 13 years, Undercover Tourist has been sending customers to their favorite theme parks faster for less money. For more information, visit undercovertourist.com or find them on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome to this week's episode of the show. I'm Banks.
And I'm JeniLynn. Well, I think we've recovered from all the prank playing from last week's episode.
We did, but we do have something that has continued over from last week.
We do?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. When we took Nicole to the Trapeze Federation, she enjoyed the experience so much that she decided to continue on and do some more lessons with Trapeze Federation.
Really? And how's that going?
It's going great. I went out there yesterday on Wednesday to see her progress, and she's just doing really, really good. She's really gotten over that fear of backflips, and she's just coming into her own now. I think she might be able to, join Ring Brothers or something.
She really is going to join the Storybook Circus.
Yes, she is. If only they had a trapeze ride there, that would be kind of fun. Would you imagine, if they put a trapeze experience at
I would do it. I have to say, after watching last week's episode with the whole trapeze segment, I want to do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm a little bit afraid of heights, but I still want to do it. It sounds like a really great time.
I want to see you do this.
Okay.
I want to see you do this. But before we do, try new things, let's talk about what's going on this week with News in the Queue.
Well, our first item isn't about an attraction directly, but rather a story that has inspired a few. The sequel to Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo has been announced.
Yes.
Yeah! Entitled Finding Dory, the sequel is scheduled for release in 2015.
Now, the story's plot takes place about a year after the first film, and rather taking place in the Australian waters, it's now all the way to the California coastline.
Ooh, I've always wanted to go to the California coastline.
Really?
Along with the first film's favorites, like Marlin, Nemo, and Dory, a host of new characters will be introduced.
And of course, Ellen DeGeneres will be back to voice Dory in the new film.
You can't have Dory without Ellen, so
I agree.
that was obviously a given. While other Pixar releases are Monsters University this June 21st, The Good Dinosaur on May 30th, 2014, and an untitled Pixar movie that takes you inside the mind on June 19th, 2015.
More specifically, it takes you inside the mind of I can't remember, it's either a preteen or an early teenage girl.
Well, that sounds like a horror film.
Well, yeah, you have a 13-year-old, so...
I do.
So that'll be a movie to take her to go see.
Maybe I need to watch this movie so I can get a clue of what is happening to me right now.
I'm very excited for Finding Dory.
Yeah.
You don't even know. I love Finding Nemo. And my friends have always, for years, wanted a sequel to this, and they've come up with their own their own plot. They wanted to be called Finding Nemo 2: Dory Back in Blue. So they've always wanted a Dory type sequel, and now it's going to happen.
Well, Pixar's definitely been rolling out the sequels and the trilogies and stuff of that nature. But I do have to say, if we do have to have another sequel, this sounds like it's going to be a really great one because honestly, in Finding Nemo, even though she was a supporting character,
she wasn't really the lead.
She kind of stole the show.
Yeah.
That's just a fantastic character.
And do her own story.
She should be center stage. I'm all for it.
I agree. Well, moving away from the big blue sea and towards a Golden Hill, Fantasy of Flight is giving guests the chance to see an additional 20,000 square feet of rare and vintage aircraft, aircraft parts, and flight artifacts. The collection of aviation artifacts are called Golden Hill, A nod to Silver Hill, which is the nickname of the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum's Preservation and Storage Facility.
That's right. The tour of this area is not self-guided. Guests are going to board a trolley that gives views of the attraction, the planes that are on display, and daily flights of vintage aircraft.
The new exhibit will be included with the price of admission. I know we've talked about this before, but we still have yet to get out there to, at least for me personally, haven't gone out to the Fantasy of Flight.
I haven't either, but they just keep adding new things
There's
to
all
this
these new
exhibit.
things that it's really driving me toward there. I want to go see this now once I get some free time.
And like we said before, it's all included in the price of admission.
Exactly, so that's a good deal.
You're getting more bang for your buck.
Exactly. Now, Golden Hill isn't the only new event there is without an extra cost. Viva La Musica, or Musica.
Musica.
Thank you.
If you're going to say it in Espanol, it's Musica.
Viva La Musica is back Saturdays at SeaWorld and Sundays at Busch Gardens throughout April and May.
That's right. Some of Latin music's biggest names like Daddy Yankee, Willie Colon, Grupo Mania, and El Gran Combo will headline the concert series at SeaWorld.
And Busch Gardens will feature Anita Nazario, Oscar de Leon, Millie Quezada, and as well as El Grupo Combo.
Good job, good job.
Thank you.
The concerts are free with admission, and the event also features Latin cuisine and arts and crafts.
Now this is definitely I'm thinking this. I've never been to this event before in the past, but it seems like it's just it's a Latin version of the Band's Brew and Barbecue. It's just except Latin cuisine, flavor, bands, that kind of stuff.
I'm all for it. Get in a little salsa, a little merengue, a little cha-cha.
Are you gonna head out there? And
I might.
Do the cha-cha with Shamu?
I am telling you what. I got a thing for Latin music, Latin dancing, and all that stuff. So. And we're raring to go.
All right.
Traveling from the Latin American culture to the West Coast, the Legoland Hotel's grand opening took place at Legoland California Resort last week.
The 3-story, 250-room hotel represents the largest expansion in the resort's history.
All of the rooms are Lego themed, such as Lego Pirates, Lego Adventure, or Lego Kingdom, and they have a separate sleeping area for children that features a bunk bed, trundle bed, and television. This sounds like something that's right up my kids' alley.
I like bunk beds. Can I sleep in the bunk bed? I mean, you think it's sized for adults?
We can do our best. We'll try it out.
Okay. The Lego models, wall decorations, themed bedding, and even the carpet will lend themselves to the Lego themes.
That's right, but the Lego theming doesn't stop in the rooms. It will also be found in the play areas throughout the hotel, as well as the main entrance and restaurants.
Now check our YouTube channel for tours of the hotel and the rooms. I hope that maybe sometime in the future we get a Lego hotel here at Legoland, Florida.
I think that would definitely help Legoland to be an even greater pull to get people out that way, because it's a little bit,
it's a bit of a
it's
distance.
not quite here in the heart of theme park attractions. It's a little bit of a step away.
But if you have a hotel for people to stay at overnight,
it's going to be more of a motivation for people to make that drive. That's, even though it's not as convenient.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they have it sometime soon. They announce something like that.
Crossing our fingers.
The next time you're in Disney's Hollywood Studios and in the entrance queue to Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, look for this hidden Mickey. On the last wall before you enter the lower level of the pre-show video room, a poster labeled Cosmic Car Show has a tiny classic Mickey on the bottom right under the front tire of the car. It's hard to see because the room's rather dark, but it's worth the effort to find this one.
Summer is almost here. Don't pay full price for your theme park admission tickets. Undercover Tourist ships the exact same tickets straight to your door for less than gate price. All tickets are new, authentic, and backed by one of the best refund policies. Add on your car rental to save up to 50% on your vacation package. Find the best day to visit each park along with other insider tips and planning tools at undercovertourist.com. Visit undercovertourist.com and buy your tickets today.
Now you're probably staring at the screen right now and wondering why we have moved into a car shop.
Why have we moved into a car shop?
We're actually not in a car shop, JeniLynn. We are still at Theme Park Connection. all these props right here behind us come from the original test track queue at Epcot before the big refurb.
The crash dummy version.
Exactly, and they are all on sale here at Theme Park Connection. So if you want to take home a piece of Walt Disney World history and make your garage look a little more industrial, definitely give Theme Park Connection a call. Now, Florida is a hotbed for the theme park industry, and recently Theme Park Review led a behind-the-scenes tour of a couple of the best manufacturing and design firms for amusement park attractions and games as a benefit for Give Kids the World.
Our producer Matt was lucky enough to be a part of this tour and brought back a glimpse of what goes into creating the attractions we all love.
Now what you'll see here is a very shortened version of the tours, so check our YouTube channel for much longer versions of each tour.
We've got you guys up nice and bright and early, but believe me, it's going to be worth it. We're going to make our first stop is going to be at Sally Corporation. These are the guys that have been building dark rides forever. I'm sure everyone has been on the Legoland dark ride. They've been on ET, probably been on loads of their attractions all over the world. It's a fascinating shop. We're going to learn how dark rides are made, the animatronics that go into it, and we're just going to hear from a really great group of passionate, fun guys that refuse to grow up. It'll be a good visit, good tour.
And we're headed. Where are they located?
They're located in Jacksonville, so we've got about a 3-hour drive ahead of us. 2.5, 3 hours ish, depending on traffic. But we'll make it good fun. We'll be on the bus. We'll talk about stuff. We'll get like roller coaster, theme park geeky, and it'll be a lot of fun.
All right. And then where are we headed?
We can't tell you that. There's a surprise stop kind of in the middle that I know everybody will really, really enjoy. But then once we're done with our surprise stop, we're going to go down to a place called Bob's Space Racers, which if you've heard of whac-a-mole, you've heard of Bob's Space Racers. I'm sure every one of your readers of the people watching the show have played a Bob's Space Racers game. If they've been to any game, any midway game at a theme park, a carnival, even at like a county fair, they've played Bob's Space Racers games. So we'll get to see how those are made as well.
Okay. And you're not just a website. You guys do tours like this, and not just around Florida. You guys do tours all around, right?
That's right. I mean, we started doing our TPR tours back in 2005, and every year it just keeps growing and growing. Last year we took groups anywhere between 30 to 100 people. We did Singapore, Malaysia was a tour. We did Dubai, India. We did a month in China. We did all over the United States. This year, in about 2 months, we're heading to Japan again. We're going to spend a lot of time at Tokyo Disney, and then we're also doing a Texas Midwest trip in August, where we're going to hit all the parks from Six Flags Fiesta Texas all the way up to Cedar Point. So it's a great time. We call it like adult summer camp. It's just a fun time.
And if somebody wants to join, how can they find out more?
Just tell them go to themeparkreview.com, click the thing that says either events or trips, and it'll take you right to the information.
All right, well, let's get going. We got a long day.
It'll be fun.
So when we first started, I'm proud to say that we were the first company to ever use silicone for their skins. And the industry looked at us like we were crazy. Because Disney had used a hot melt vinyl that was a very expensive, high pressure, a very hot process. The people out in California thought that the urethane was the closest thing to that hot melt vinyl. The only problem with urethane is in about 6 years it starts to melt, drip. It starts to look pretty bad. Silicone is now the industry standard, but our first figure 35 years ago had a silicone face. Of course, this is Nazir. He's star of our challenge in Tutankhamun, and he's seen 3 different times in the ride. You can see the kind of custom mechanical components that go into a character. The steel then is all built up by hand. This is the 15th T-Rex that we've created. Once we build something we like them, then we'll have them run it for somebody like you want to buy them. The first one was in R&R's creative design ride called Voyage to the Center of the Earth, which is the best water ride out there, only real water park dark ride. It's still the most popular. It was probably done 20 years ago. The one at the island. Great ride. And then we helped create Dinosaur Discovery Trail in Hong Kong at Ocean Park, and then put one at Kuala Lumpur, and then in front of a couple Ripley's, and then some miniature golf courses. There are more unusual places for them, but always very effective.
To work with this stuff, you've got to see it in the black light to know exactly what you're doing. What we've got here, this is just a piece I popped up here yesterday for you guys. It's a little sample piece that we've been working on. You want to keep your eyes on for a second. This is what we call dual image painting.
I get from pneumatics department. They've wired up everything, and they give me the sheet that shows what movements are wired up to what valves, and then that translates through my keyboard here to this programming system that we have. And basically, it's an additive system. I start with the mouth, because it's best to do that when he's not moving around, so you can try to dial the mouth in, and then I'll get some eyes turn and eye blinks, some head turns and stuff like that. And I'll show you the process.
What day is it? And what month? This clock never seems so alive.
An art finish is where they breathe life into the machine. They implant all the hairs and the eyebrows and the mustaches. They paint the faces to give them the coloration of our faces. The nails, they do the costuming.
So, you have come to find out how Sally makes the magic, we?
Some of the characters on the lower shelf are from our Hindu group, BAPS, Swaminarayan, and other, and then you got Abraham Lincoln in there, supposedly from original life cast. Some of these heads here are in production for our Turks. And here's our new pirate. He's getting ready to go to the show in
Think you're clever, eh? Think you can come me you to our pirate hideaway and ride off with our gold?
We could go two to a seat as long as it's like sort of like big person, little person, like we don't basically like weight it down too much. So if you look at yourself and you go, wow, I'm kind of a fatty, then you want a little person next to you. So like right here, this is a good pairing. So let's go, guys.
This is a whac-a-mole.
Isn't that cool? That's what it
It's going to go out. This one's actually going to Callaway Park.
Oh, where's our Canadian?
And believe it or not, this is a used game. So this was two parts of a game, and we put it together as a used game for the customer. Refurbish it, repaint it. This will go out looking like brand new.
What's the turnaround time from when you guys actually start a cabinet to when it goes out the door?
In a arcade piece, it can be about a week if we're really concentrate on it. We really like to flow them through in about 2 weeks, but if we really need this stuff and we jump on it, it's about a week through. shop. This is an area here where we mostly get everything packed up, ready to go out to the customers. We have to crate everything. This area over here, we build our own seats. We build our own whac-a-mole hammers. Whac-a-mole hammers we've been building for about 30 years now. And it's a pretty tricky process because you either get a hammer that lasts or you get a game that lasts. So if you get a hammer that lasts forever, the game don't last too long. If you get the game lasts forever, the hammer doesn't last too long. So it's a mix that we've finally, over the years come up with a real good hammer, and we have a real strict manufacturing process of what we use and how we do that hammer to keep it together and keep the game together. Sign machine. We used to do silk screening. We used to do a lot of hand painting. You'll see some hand-painted stuff, airbrush stuff. Right now, everything's done in vinyl and comes off the printer now, so there's not much need for airbrushing and some of the old techniques, silk screening we used to use. Over here is all different heads that we made for the whac-a-mole over the years. This is the little showroom here. We've Steve Simpson area.
Right.
Okay, we worked on that for 6 months. 4.5 months was working with the licensing people on the product, what to do, and we had a month and a half to build it all. So, for 4.5 months, you're back and forth, and we're changing wood, we're changing textures, and we're changing every piece on the game, or we're touching every piece to possibly change it. So, when you're working with licensing, it's tough. Used to, the game would be here, you couldn't get on the side of it, and you think it's an 18-inch rim. I never use them. I use a 15-inch rim. So I use a smaller rim, but it's completely oval, and you basically just adjust your merchandise. The cost of sales we use is between 25 and 30%. So 25 to 30% of the revenue of the game goes out in merchandise is a good rule of thumb we use. If you're, say, using 40% in a long range basketball, you can basically just go to $12 merchandise or $10 merchandise. You can maybe move back 1 foot. You can maybe raise the rim 6 inches. So there's a couple ways of doing it like that. But basically, we adjust it not so they can't win, but to run 25 to 30%. Everybody with a whack-a-mole wants to play it and see who's better, okay? With our scoring system, it's either 1 or 10, so you could get 300, I could get 300, game over. In this game, you might get 273, and I might get 262, so it really zones in on how fast you really are and how fast you can play the game. This looks like the hammer. Got a lot of graphics and lights and fiberglass cabinet round. But this is the first time we've changed the whack-a-mole, and since we came out with it in the early 1980s from that cabinet to that time.
Lots of random robots, rode a kiddie coaster, and got to see how games were made. So, good trip, good day. So once again, I want to give thanks to Cara for helping and organizing stuff, and raising money for Give Kids the World.
The next time you plan a Disney vacation, book with a travel agency that's been specifically designated as an authorized Disney vacation planner. Unlike some other agencies, many of our agents' exclusive knowledge of Walt Disney World can help you get the most out of your vacation. And the assistance of our travel professionals can help you get a customized Disney vacation that's just right for you, your family, and your budget. Start planning your magical vacation today by visiting mousefantravel.com.
Now, if you're a Disney theme park fan, most likely you've heard of Ridley Pearson.
That's right. He's the author of the wildly popular Kingdom Keepers series. Pearson's books have entertained a broad audience from preteens to adults for years, and his latest edition just came out.
Now, our teen reporter Quinn is a huge fan of Ridley's books. Let's throw it over to Quinn right now to talk to this theme park novelist.
Thanks, guys. Welcome, Ridley.
I love you, Quinn.
Oh.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
For those who might not know, what are your books about?
I don't know what I'm doing here. Do you know I just stuff animals?
Oh.
All day long I stuff animals.
Poor mouse.
No, I write the Kingdom Keepers series and the Peter and the Starcatcher series with Dave Barry. And the Kingdom Keepers series is about 5 teenagers who get inside Disney World after dark. Who hasn't wanted to get inside Disney World after dark?
I know I have.
And have you been in After Dark?
Well, when it was open. But
and I've had the good fortune of Disney allowing me in when it's closed. The first thing, you know, the old Toy Story axiom that when Andy's door closes, the dolls come alive, the toys come alive. Well, I had this moment where I left the park after the fireworks one night, and there were, 60, 80,000 of us leaving all at once.
Yeah.
And there were no characters there. You know, Goofy and Minnie and Mickey and Buzz Lightyear, and all of those characters were still somewhere in the park. And as a writer, I had that, you know, oh my moment where I turned and said, well, what are they doing while we're sleeping before we come back tomorrow morning? And I thought, they're still in here. And then I went, I know what they're doing. They're fighting for control of the park, because Disney created these amazing villains that get very little airtime or ink, and they would not like spending 50 years being the bad guys and getting the brunt of all of this. So at some point, they would throw a revolt and say, you know, enough of this, it's the most magical place on earth. We are going to make this the most tragical place on earth. And that what would the Disney good guys do to stop that? So these teenagers end up in there, and thinking that they're just sneaking around Disney World, they find themselves locked between these two very powerful forces. And so that's what the Kingdom Keepers series is about.
What happened to the newest book?
It fell over.
Oh.
What happened to it or in it?
Or in it.
In it.
In.
Between the pages, you know, as I envisioned the series, I had originally thought it would be 5 books long. I didn't want to have an open-ended series. I wanted it to close, so it was a story. I may do more Kingdom Keeper stuff, but I wanted it to close off. And then Disney made the mistake. So one of the deals that happened with this is I murder people for a living.
Oh.
In and on paper.
Okay.
I write murder mysteries and suspense novels and things like that. And I do a lot of research for those books. So when Disney and I talked about doing an exciting book for younger readers set inside their theme parks, I said, you know, I'd have to have full access to your theme parks because I do a ton of research. And they said, well, you know, that would be a deal breaker, what we call a deal breaker. Like, no way. And I said, okay, but, you know, thanks for talking to me. And they came back about a month later and said, okay, you can have full access to our theme parks. So I get to go in when the park is closed, when the attractions are shut down and they're dark. And I go with an Imagineer, which is an employee of Disney whose job it is like the best job on earth, because they imagine the next attraction, then get a lot of money and turn that attraction and that imagination into something real, and we all go on it and love it for 30 years. So one of those guys, or women, guides me around the park in the dark and shows me the attractions. We walk them, I video them, I take pictures. Then they bring the employees in and we turn it on, and I ride it alone a half dozen times and take more notes and go home and write chapters of the book. So I have like the best job on the face of the earth. And as I got writing the series, I wanted to move the sort of the finality of the big story to Disneyland, because that's where it all started. And I wanted to put the Kingdom Keepers on ice, on Disney on Ice. And that didn't work out.
That would be cool.
And I thought that would be, you know, Finn skating along.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out, and for a number of legal reasons. And writing these really fun books with Dave Barry called Peter and the Starcatchers.
I read those too.
Oh, well, thank you. And
great.
Disney's making a movie of one of those.
They are?
Yes, they are.
Wow.
But Dave Barry and I were invited onto the cruise ships as kind of a promotion where we were going to speak about Peter and the Starcatchers. And I said, wait a second, the Kingdom Keepers could get to LA on a Disney cruise ship.
Yeah.
And at which point Disney heard me say that and said, well, do you want to take a 15-night cruise from Canaveral to Los Angeles? And I said, yes, I would like to do that. And they signed me up for that. And I went with my wife and took furious notes. And so that turned into 2 books. And the 5 series of books turned into a series of 7 books. So 5 and 6, you asked about 6.
Yeah.
6 is the second half of this 15-night cruise from Canaveral to Los Angeles. So in this novel, things get a lot darker and a lot crazier. And we end up on Aruba, we end up in the Panama Canal, all sorts of chaos while we're on the ship. We go to the zip lines of Costa Rica. A lot of high action, a lot of fun. The overtakers, who are the Disney villains who want to take over the parks, are gaining more and more power against these 5 kids who are saying, help, I want out of this. So hopefully it's a fun, exciting read.
Do you think people have to start with the first book, or can they just start with any other
They
book
can
in the
start
series?
anywhere they want. They can read these books backwards if they want. I think I talked to some readers last night at a signing, and they had started on about the 3rd book. And you know, I try in every book to catch you up to speed, although it's not the same as if you've read the early books. So they read 1 or 2 and totally got engrossed in them and decided before they went on they were going to go back and read the whole series. But I think it's just up to you. I do, in every book, I try to spend a page or 2 spread through the thing to at least catch you up on the concept that these kids are actually holograms when they go to sleep.
Yeah,
and some of the more difficult jumps that you have to make as a reader, and hopefully you come along with me on my journey. So.
Yeah, that would be hard to understand. Like, what? How did that kid just walk through a wall?
Yeah,
what?
it's a little tricky.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's a little tricky. Like, I can't walk through that. I'd like to.
Yeah. So I downloaded your app the other day, the new Kingdom Keepers
Okay,
Insider.
now we're talking. That's what I want to talk about.
The voting. I voted a couple of on the chapters.
Thank you.
And it's really cool because like people like me, like fans, can just like help you write the book. How did that idea come into play?
Well, you made that happen, whether you know it or not. I have an email on my webpage, and so I get hundreds of emails a day from readers, and some of them are not people like you, because I happen to know, Gwen, that when you first got my book, you didn't read it.
Yeah.
So I really shouldn't be talking to you here.
I mean, I did after, and then I got like extremely obsessed with it.
And adults actually read the books they get. Just as a point of fact, this happens. they don't just put them in the corner on the shelf.
I did. It was just I was little. I was
don't
like,
know
oh, book,
why
whatever.
I should even be here talking to you. But I am talking to you. No, I get hundreds of wonderful emails from readers, and some of them have written me and said, you know, I've read the third book 7 times. I've read the first book. I had one kid write me and say, I've read the first book 11 times. And you get, as a writer, you begin to get a sense of the camaraderie of this world. There's this Kingdom Keepers world you enter when you read these books.
Yeah, definitely.
And the kids get passionate about that. And I love that passion because it's about reading. It's not about me and all of this. You know, it's about Disney and it's about reading. And as I got toward the end of the series, I thought, is it fair of me to finish the series without the input of my readers, who in some cases know more about these books than I do, literally. And I thought, you know, that's not fair. And then I wondered, how the heck in this world could I get these people who email me in kind of a real-time environment to write the book with me? Is that even possible? Because it just hasn't been done. And it took me 2 years. But I connected, about a year ago, I connected with a company called Colloquy, a terrific publisher of ebooks out of Palo Alto, California. And I connected Disney Publishing with Colloquy. And Colloquy has built and engineered an app that allows my readers, all for free, you know, there's no commercial aspect of this at all, it's all for free. And it's all policed by Disney, so there's, you know, parents can know it's safe, parents sign off on it, all of this stuff is read, there's no inappropriate content at all on this. But the idea is that for instance, I've already posted the first 4 chapters of the 7th book, and then I'm writing the 5th chapter and asking you, do you think these characters should be in it? How would you describe this? And then I will write the next chapter according to the community's wishes, so that we're all writing the book together. As an example, this morning, while I was in a hotel in Tampa, Florida, I received the list of almost 800 submissions for that first paragraph, and I picked 2 of them and edited them, and these young readers and writers are going to have their words as a description in my next book. And every week, these, you know, whoever participates has the chance to see their words published in my book at the end of this whole thing, as well as I'm reacting to the votes and changing the way I was going to do this. So hopefully, we're going to do this for about 30 weeks, 20 or 30 weeks, and there's already thousands of people who have signed on. They've been on there multiple times, and it's just so fun to have. As far as publishers know, it's never been done. I mean, we are writing a book in real time together. Yeah. So here we go.
How is it going to work where you're releasing the chapters? Because then,
well, I mean, there has to be eventually. You know, Disney would probably put me in some dungeon somewhere if they couldn't sell a book at some point. So, the way it's going to work is we're going to write 2/3 of the book together, and hopefully everybody's enjoying it enough that when I finish it and publish it as a real book, they'll come buy it.
I know. I mean,
that's what I hope.
I'm voting
because otherwise, Disney is going to kill me for doing this.
Yeah, it's just like, here's a free book.
Yeah,
Woo!
exactly. Well, it will be free for 2/3 of it. So I just hope everybody likes it enough and supports the idea enough to then go buy it. We'll see.
Getting around Orlando can be a bit daunting with its road systems and traffic jams, but help is out there. If you have a smartphone, the Google Maps app is a fantastic way to navigate the best route to your favorite attraction. Typing in the address of your destination, Google Maps provides you with color-coded routes that not only show you how to get there, but what type of traffic you'll encounter depending on the road you choose. Ranging from black to red to yellow and green, you'll know what type of traffic you're headed for beforehand and can decide on an alternate route if you don't like what you see. Not only can this save you time, but it can also save your sanity. So prior to leaving for O-Town, find this savior of an app in your Android or iOS app stores. It's free, but considering the headaches you might avert because of it, I'll also say that it's gold. Or you can take your chances by following the colors of the wind. The choice is yours.
Well, the weekly giveaway is upon us now.
Now, last week we asked you to tell us about the best April Fool's joke you pulled or had pulled on you. Thank you to everyone who gave us a response. Our winner, chosen at random, is...
Wrong way. There we go. Tony Ebbers of Chester, Illinois.
I'm so excited for Tony. Tony's an avid watcher of the show, watches every week. He tweets to us regularly. He leaves a comment on the YouTube channel almost every week.
Oh, this is great.
Congrats, so
Tony.
excited. Congratulations.
He said, the best prank I ever pulled happened while I was in the Navy. We had a guy in my class at sonar school who nobody liked. One night while he was on guard duty, me and 3 other guys broke into his room and moved everything not attached to the floor 2 inches to the left. It's totally screwed up his sense of balance.
Aww.
Oh, poor guy. Well, that's funny, but that's poor for the guy.
That's almost as bad as when you put salt in my water.
That was a good one. Well, actually, no, it wasn't a good one because
it backfired on you.
Well, congratulations, Tony. We'll be sending you that Theme Park Connection prize package soon. Now, for this week's challenge, we want you to tell us the name of your favorite theme park website, besides ours. When you send in your answer, you might be picked to receive a family 4-pack to the Never-Ending Pie Buffet at the Great American Pie Festival in celebration on April 27th and 28th. Now, the festival is free to go to, but the pie buffet is not. So this is 4 tickets, like a 4-pack for that buffet.
For you to just eat all the pie that you possibly can all day long?
All the pie you want. I don't recommend taking the pie and throwing it in people's faces like on Nickelodeon, but...
Oh, no, I don't think you'll get any friends that way.
No.
But yes, the pie is there for the taking otherwise. So send in your answer by email to info@attractionsmagazine.com. You must include your full name and address. We need it all by the end of next Monday, April 15th, 2013. As always, keep in mind that you can only enter once per week and you can only win once per year.
Now, you know who makes me want to shout?
Who?
Well, all of our viewers out there. It's shout out time, and Jordan Mitson is the first one. Jordan, it's so good to hear from you on the other side of the pond. We look forward to your visit here in 2014, and we'll keep you up to date on what is coming down the pike.
Andrew Parson wrote to us with a question about getting the Attractions app on his Android tablet. Well, Andrew, we don't have an app for Android, but you can buy a digital version of our magazine on the Android, and that's the Nook app.
Nook, yes.
So, Andrew, Michaela, and Luca, we hope that helps, and we look forward to hearing how your upcoming honeymoon in Orlando fares.
Oh, congrats. Next, we want to wave to Ash and Claire Wells, hello, in Great Britain. They are expecting their first baby. Congrats. Ash, from one Disney fan to another, I expect you to raise that baby right. It's Mickey Mouse all the way, dude.
That's right. Now, Rob Roy, we know that you're out there in Massachusetts, and we want to let you know that we wish you the best of luck in getting accepted into the Disney College program.
Oh.
We know you'll snag it when the time comes.
That's how I first moved to Orlando, was through the Disney College program. And
see?
It grows on you, and sometimes you just stay in Orlando.
Proof that it can happen right here.
YouTube viewer Joe Gilby just celebrated her 23rd birthday, and we are celebrating with her. So glad we can help and feed that Florida addiction for you, Joe. Hope you can make it back soon.
And lastly, Carson Ute, I hope I'm saying that right, wanted us to shout out to his parents for making his dreams come true and taking him to Disney World. So, Mom, Dad, big hugs and big thanks. You've done us proud.
I've got a quick little special shout out to my best friend in the whole world, Rachel. She, my best friend back home from Texas.
Aww.
She's in town this week visiting for a work-related thing, but I got to hang out with her in the parks, and it's so good to see her again. It's been years, and it's always good to see Rachel, so I love you, Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Now, special thanks to Mouse Fan Travel. Let them exercise their expertise and plan your next trip, whether by land or sea. For a free quote without obligation, visit mousefantravel.com.
And much thanks to Theme Park Connection, where you can buy, sell, and trade theme park items. Visit the warehouse here in Winter Garden or online at themeparkconnection.com.
We're also thankful to Undercover Tourist, our recommended supplier of online discount tickets to Disney World, Universal, and other Orlando area attractions. For more information, visit undercovertourist.com. Please let all our sponsors know you really appreciate them, because we appreciate them and couldn't have a show without them.
Speaking of the show, you can watch it each and every week on YouTube, iTunes, and Bright House Cable.
You can also like us on Facebook, and we hope you'll follow us on Twitter as well.
Yep. And there's always attractionsmagazine.com for news and videos throughout the week. You can also subscribe to the magazine itself. It's available in print, on the Nook, online, and in our iPhone and iPad apps. Our spring edition is available now. The issue features a guide to eating and drinking around Epcot's World Showcase, a look inside Give Kids the World Village, Orlando magic shows, and much more.
You know what? I can't believe that it's over so soon. But
time is fleeting when you live
is.
in Orlando.
Yeah, it really is. But we don't want so much time to get away from y'all watching, so make the most of it. Get out there and
Have fun.
Secret blooper of the week.
3.
Well, Cars. He's the author of the wildly popular Kingdom Series.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, okay. Okay. That was.
You can watch the show every week, each and every week, by the way, on YouTube, iTunes. Yes.
Each and every week?
Actually, yes.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know we were on every week.
We are. We are on every week, and it's on YouTube, iTunes, and Bright House Cable.
Oh, well, I've got Bright House Cable, so I should probably turn to channel 300 in Orlando or 340 if I'm in Tampa.
This will work for you, I
This will
promise.
work great.
Hi, Quinn. It's really nice to see you here. I thought I'd ask you a few questions.
When did you first get into the Kingdom Keepers series?
Oh, well, my dad bought me the book when it like first came out, but for a few
And
years.
what happened to that book once you got that?
It probably sat on the shelf for like a couple years, like 2, 3.
And I'm going to leave this interview right now.
Oh.
No, that's what happened after it sat on the shelf.
I finally picked it up and read it.
Did you clean it off?
It wasn't.
You know that
it
dust
was,
can be contaminating.
I don't know.
And did you enjoy it?
Yes, it's one of my favorite books now. Actually, it is my favorite book.
Could you imagine the way that I wrote it? What do you think inspired it?
Let's save that for the other question later.
I think if we do the interview backwards, see, we can get all of my answers out of Quinn. And it would make it unusual.